Wherever you are right now, allow yourself to simply arrive here. Let the day go. Let it soften at the edges, like the last light of evening dissolving into the deep blue of night. Whatever you carried today, the weight of it, the worry of it, the noise and the rush of it, you can set it down now, gently, without effort, the way a hand releases something it has been holding for far too long. Breathe in, slowly, and breathe out. There is nothing you need to do right now, nowhere you need to be. No problem that requires your attention in this quiet hour. This moment belongs only to you and to the peace that is waiting for you here. Let your body grow heavy and warm. Feel the softness beneath you, the stillness around you. Allow your shoulders to drop, your jaw to unclench, your hands to rest open and easy. You are safe. You are held. Tonight, we are going somewhere ancient and beautiful. We are going out into the open desert, beneath the widest sky you have ever seen, to stand beside a man who was tired and grieving and uncertain, and to watch what happened when God spoke to him in the dark. Welcome to Bible Secrets, Hidden History. Tonight, we step away from the mysteries of the past to find the timeless rest and peace hidden within the sacred word. This is a story about a night sky filled with more stars than any mind can count. It is a story about a promise so vast it defies all human understanding. And somewhere inside it, there is a word of comfort meant for you, in this very moment, on this very night. Close your eyes and let us begin. As you settle into the quiet of this night, consider subscribing to Bible Secrets, Hidden History, and saving this Sleep Series playlist close to you. Let your like be a silent prayer that carries this peace to other weary souls tonight. And now, let everything else fall away. Chapter 1. The Weight of an Empty Tent. The desert evening comes slowly in the land of Canaan. It does not arrive all at once, the way a door closes sharply. It arrives the way sleep itself arrives, in gradations of softness, in a gentle dimming of the world, in a cooling of the air that the skin recognizes before the mind does. First, the harsh golden light of afternoon loses its edge. The shadows stretch long and lavender across the sand. The dry grasses catch the last of the sun and glow like copper thread. The distant hills soften. And then, little by little, the sky begins its transformation from amber to rose to a deep, breathtaking violet, as though the heavens themselves are being pulled down into rest. In this land, in this hour, an old man sat alone. His name was Abram. And though the world around him was beautiful in the way that only desert evenings can be beautiful, vast and open and hushed with a silence that seems to have weight, he could not fully feel it, because inside him there was a quieter kind of grief. One he had carried for a long, long time. He had walked in faithfulness. He had left his home, the city of Ur, the house of his father, the familiar sounds and smells and comforts of the life he had always known. He had gone out, as the ancient text tells us, not knowing where he was going, carrying nothing but a promise. A word from the divine. A whisper that had reached him in the deep places of his heart and told him, "Go, I will show you, I will bless you, I will make of you something greater than you can imagine." He had believed, he had obeyed, he had walked, and many years had passed. He sat now at the entrance of his tent in the cooling evening air, and he felt, as the faithful sometimes do, as perhaps you have felt in your own quiet nights, the tender ache of something long awaited. He had no child. His wife Sarai had no child. The years had moved through them like the desert wind moves through tall grass. beautifully, inevitably, leaving everything both touched and unchanged. And the promise, the beautiful, impossible promise, sometimes seemed as far away as the stars that were just beginning to appear above the horizon. There is something very honest about that kind of grief. Something sacred in it, even. It is not faithlessness. It is the very human weight of waiting. The tiredness that comes not from disbelief, but from the long, patient years of holding on. Abram had not let go. He had never let go. But tonight, the holding felt heavy. You may know something of that feeling yourself. That particular kind of weariness that is not laziness, not weakness, but the accumulated weight of hoping for something that has not yet come. The prayers that have been prayed, the trust that has been extended again and again, like an open hand. The faithful mornings that become faithful evenings, that become another faithful year, and still the waiting continues. If you know that feeling, then this night, this ancient desert night, belongs to you as much as it belonged to Abram. And the word that came to him in the darkness is a word that still travels across the centuries, still crosses the distances of time and silence, and still arrives, softly, surely, in the hearts of those who wait. Let the evening deepen around you now. Feel its coolness. Breathe it in. The stars are beginning to appear. Chapter 2. The Voice in the Vision. Then the word of the Lord came to him, not in thunder, not in fire, not in the great dramatic visitations that we might expect when the divine chooses to speak. The ancient text uses a quieter word. The word came in a vision, like something seen in the space between waking and sleeping, in that soft and luminous country where the conscious mind releases its grip and something deeper becomes aware. Perhaps it arrived as a presence felt more than seen, a warmth, a stillness that was somehow different from ordinary stillness, richer, deeper, alive with the quality of attention. The way a room feels when someone you love has just entered it, before you have even turned to look. Do not be afraid, Abram. How often the divine begins with these words. How often, across all the pages of the ancient record, the first thing the heavenly voice says to a human heart is simply, "Do not be afraid," as though that is always the first and most necessary thing, as though fear is the one doorway that must be gently opened before anything else can enter, as though the divine knows with perfect and tender knowledge, that the human heart, in its waiting and its weariness and its long years of hoping, is always at its quiet center, a little afraid, afraid that the promise won't come, afraid that the waiting means it was never real, afraid of the gap between what was spoken and what has yet to appear. Do not be afraid. Let those words rest in you for a moment, exactly as they are. Do not analyze them. Do not try to apply them to your particular worry or your particular night. Just let them settle into you, the way warmth settles into cold hands, gradually, completely, without effort. You do not need to be afraid tonight. And then Abram spoke. He spoke from the truest and most honest part of himself, not the part that performs confidence or maintains composure, but the real, tender, unguarded part. He said, "O Lord God, what will you give me? For I continue childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus." He said, "Behold, you have given me no offspring." There is such beauty in this moment, such raw and guileless honesty. He did not dress it up. He did not pretend he was fine. He brought his grief directly to the source of all comfort, and he named it plainly, and he waited. This is what prayer, at its most ancient and essential, actually looks like. Not performance, not the careful arrangement of correct words, just the real weight of the real heart, offered up in the quiet of the evening, to the one who already knows every syllable of it before it is spoken. And the divine did not rebuke him for it, did not correct him, did not deliver a lecture about the importance of patience or the virtue of long-suffering. The response was something far simpler and far more wonderful. Come outside. That is the whole instruction, not a theological treatise, not a list of conditions to fulfill, just come outside, come out of the tent, come away from the interior of your grief and your worry and your long looping thoughts. Come out into the open, come out into the night. Let your breath slow now, let your body sink a little deeper into rest, because we are about to go outside. Chapter 3. A Sky Beyond Counting. Imagine stepping out of a tent into the desert night. You would feel it before you saw anything. The air itself cooler and cleaner than the air inside, carrying the faint green scent of desert brush, the ghost of distant water, the mineral sharpness of ancient stone. You would feel it on your face first, that gentle breath of the night, moving so softly across your cheeks and forehead that it is less like wind and more like the world simply exhaling. And then your eyes would lift, and the sky would stop you. Because there are places on this earth, far from cities, far from electric light, far from all the brightness we have built to keep the darkness away, where the night sky reveals itself in a way that is almost unbearable in its beauty, where the stars are not a few dozen distant points of light, but a vast, overwhelming, impossibly dense canopy of radiance, layer upon layer upon layer of them. The bright and obvious ones that you recognize, and then behind them more, and behind those more still, and behind those more again, until the sky is not dark at all but luminous, glowing with the accumulated light of a billion suns. This is what Abram saw. He stepped out of his tent in the ancient desert night of Canaan, and he looked up, and the sky above him was exactly this: a great, silent, staggering expanse of starlight, stretching from horizon to horizon without a seam or a border, without a limit, without an edge. And the voice said, "Look up at the heavens and count the stars, if indeed you can count them." There is the gentlest humor in this, the most tender kind of divine irony. Count them as though the point was to attempt it and to find it impossible. As though the impossibility itself was the message. Stand here, Abram, and try. Let your eyes move across the sky. Begin with the brightest. There, and there, and there. And then notice the ones between them, and the ones between those, and let the fullness of it slowly reach you. You cannot count them. No human mind can hold this number. No human lifetime is long enough to name each one. So shall your offspring be. Close your eyes and see that sky above you now. Let yourself stand where Abram stood, in the open desert, in the cool night air, with the sand still warm beneath your feet from the heat of the day, and the silence around you so complete that you can almost hear the stars. Let the sky above you be exactly that vast. Let it be exactly that filled with light. Every star a life. Every point of radiance a soul that would not exist without this one man, this one night, this one moment of honest grief met by an impossible, extravagant promise. The ancient text says simply, "And he believed the Lord, and it was counted to him as righteousness." He believed, not because the evidence was overwhelming, not because he had proof in hand. He stood beneath a sky of impossible stars, and he looked at the gap between the promise and the present reality, and he chose, quietly, essentially, in the marrow of who he was, to trust the one who had spoken. And that trust, that single act of the heart made in darkness beneath an open sky, is one of the most celebrated moments in all of human spiritual history. It echoes through the centuries. It is quoted by the Apostle Paul. It is held up in letter after letter of the New Testament as the very model of what faith is and what faith does. Not certainty, not the absence of grief or doubt or weariness, but the open hand, the yes spoken in the dark. Breathe slowly, in and out. You are held in the same faithfulness that held Abram under those stars, the same presence that counted his trust as something precious counts yours too. The same God who met him in his grief meets you in yours. The same voice that said, "Do not be afraid," is speaking those same words into the quiet of your night right now. Do not be afraid. Look up. Begin to count, chapter 4. The covenant fire. There is more to this night in the ancient text. After the stars, there is something else, a ritual, solemn and strange and very old, that ancient peoples used to seal the most serious of agreements. Abram brought animals. He divided them. He laid them out on the ground. And then he waited. He waited all through the day, driving away the birds that came to disturb the offering. He waited through the long afternoon, through the golden hours, through the declining of the sun. And the text tells us that as the sun was setting, as the last light was fading from the sky, and the deep velvet darkness of another desert night was descending, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, a deep and holy sleep. A darkness, the text says, a great, dreadful darkness. But within it, the presence, unmistakably, the presence. And then, in the deep of that night, something passed between the divided pieces. A smoking firepot, a flaming torch, moving slowly through the darkness, sealing the covenant, making the promise permanent, binding the divine to the human in the ancient way, in the way that the most sacred agreements had always been made, not in bright daylight with witnesses and fanfare, but in the deep, still sacred darkness of the night, with fire and silence and the weight of eternity. There is something about this image that speaks directly to the resting soul. The covenant sealed in darkness. The promise confirmed not in the noise of day, but in the hushed and holy hours when the world is still. It is as though the night itself is a kind of sanctuary, as though the darkness is not the absence of the divine, but sometimes the very place where the divine draws closest, where the fire moves quietly through, leaving behind it the permanent, unbreakable seal of faithfulness. The promises spoken over your life are not undone by your tired evenings. They are not threatened by your uncertainties or your questions or the long, unresolved spaces between what you believe and what you see. They were sealed in fire in the darkness of an ancient night, and they hold. They hold as surely as the stars hold to their places in the sky. They hold as surely as the faithfulness of the one who counted Abram's trust as something precious, and who has been counting the trust of believing hearts ever since. Let this settle into you now, deeply, like warmth spreading through the chest. You are known. You are seen. You are held within a faithfulness older than memory. The fire has passed. The covenant stands. Chapter 5. The night remains. The stars are still there. This is the quiet miracle of the night sky that we so easily forget. Every star that Abram looked at on that ancient evening in Canaan, every pinpoint of light that he tried to count and could not, those stars are still burning. Many of them are still visible. The same sky that arched above him in his grief and his wondering arches above you now. The same universe, the same depth, the same staggering, silent abundance of light scattered across an infinite darkness. And the promise that was spoken beneath those stars is still in effect. Every word of it, all the faithfulness behind it, all the immensity of the divine commitment made to one weary, honest man in the middle of a desert night. None of it has diminished by a single syllable. It has only grown. It has spread through history like light spreading from a single flame. It has traveled through centuries and continents and languages and lives, always carrying the same quiet certainty at its heart. I see you. I know you. I am with you. Do not be afraid. Let the night hold you now. Feel the darkness around you, not as emptiness, but as depth. Not as the absence of something, but as the presence of peace. You are not alone in this quiet. You never have been. Every prayer you have ever prayed in the dark, every moment of faithful waiting, every honest grief brought to the divine in the small hours, all of it has been met and held and counted. Your weariness is known. Your longings are known. The waiting that sometimes feels so long and so silent, it is known. And somewhere in the vast, unhurried purposes of the one who made every star and called each one by name, your story is moving exactly as it should. Gently, faithfully, toward a morning that will come. But that morning is not now. Now is for rest. Now is for the deep, sacred gift of sleep. Let your body grow heavier. Let your thoughts grow softer. You are safe in this night, as Abram was safe beneath his sky. Oh, the same watchful presence that guided him across uncertain years is watching over you in this moment. The same faithfulness that sealed a covenant in fire holds every promise that has ever been spoken over your life. You do not have to strive tonight. You do not have to solve anything tonight. You do not have to be anyone other than exactly who you are. Tired, trusting, held. The stars above are beyond counting. The love that made them is beyond measuring. And you are known, fully, tenderly, completely known, by the one whose faithfulness is as vast as all of that light. Breathe in the stillness. Breathe out the last of the weight. Let sleep come the way the desert night came for Abram, gently, gradually, like a gift, like permission, like the quiet assurance that you are not alone, that the promises are intact, that the morning will come, and that between now and then, you are cradled in a peace that surpasses all understanding. The stars are watching, the covenant holds, and you are beloved. Rest now, rest now, rest.